Hi guys, welcome back to Cheap Lazy Vegan. Today I have another meal prep video for you, and today I'm going to be making my very easy vegan chili that you can make in bulk and store for the rest of the week. And while I'm cooking, I decided to have a bit of a snack, and this is just frozen bananas and water. Literally just blend it in and it makes a beautiful healthy smoothie. And as always, I have some beans soaking. This time I have garbanzo beans, aka chickpeas, as well as some kidney beans, and I soak them in water for at least 8 hours. And I forgot to mention this in my last video, but I always do drain the water after it's soaked, rinse it out, and then fill it up with, I guess, new clean water. Sorry I forgot to mention that, some of you noticed. And anyways, I am just bringing that water to a boil. And of course I have some sweet potatoes and potatoes ready to go, and this time they don't have the creepy eyes coming out because I kept them in the fridge. And so yeah, I learned my lesson. So while the oven is preheating for the potatoes and sweet potatoes, my ingredients for the chili are tomato passata, some brown lentils, I have some frozen broccoli that I froze earlier, and some frozen mixed vegetables. And I just kind of always use whatever vegetables I have, and this time I have a very sad, very small, lonely onion and 2 green peppers. And of course some garlic because I love garlic, so yeah. And I'm just sticking the potatoes and sweet potatoes into the oven once the oven has preheated a little bit. And honestly, I don't even know how long I bake these for. I always just bake them for about 30 minutes, check up on it, and then bake them for however many long minutes, check up on it again, and then just kind of, yeah. Anyways, I'm just chopping up the vegetables now, starting with the one lonely onion because I only had that one onion in my house, so I'm just gonna have to just use that. And I decided to use 4 cloves of garlic because I really like garlic, so I might as well use as much as I can. If the water has come to a boil for your beans, then make sure you turn down the heat to just a very, very minimum amount, and then you just let that cook for probably like 40 minutes or 50. I'm just chopping up the rest of the vegetables, aka the green peppers, because that's the only vegetables I have left to chop. Next, I decided to cook up some pearl barley because I just had it around and I've had it for ages, so I decided to cook it up. And I'm just using my butterbeer mug that I got from the Harry Potter Studios to measure out each cup, even though butterbeer I don't think is vegan. And here I am making a giant mess. And I just decided to Google how to cook the barley, so I just took 1 cup of barley to 2.5 cups of water, brought it to a boil, and then let it simmer for, I believe, 40 to 50 minutes. And that is exactly what I did. And honestly, every time I don't really know how to cook something, I just Google it. So yeah, like I said, when the water came to a boil, I just covered it up, and then I just turned down the heat and brought the water to a simmer, and then I just let it simmer for about 40 to 50 minutes, and this is how it turned out. Okay, so now let's go back to cooking the chili. I'm just putting a bit of water into a wok and I guess letting the water heat up so I can cook the vegetables. And if I have garlic and onion, I always like to cook the garlic first and then the onion and then the rest of the vegetables. I think that's how I'm supposed to do it, so that is how I do it. And there is the beautiful sizzling garlic, and I added the onions, as you can see, and then now I'm about to add the rest of the vegetables, which includes the green peppers and also the frozen broccoli that I had chopped up earlier. Now I'm adding the tomato passata, which is, I guess, like just a tomato base that you can use for all sorts of things. And I decided to also add another can of chopped tomatoes. Now it depends on my mood or whatever I have. Sometimes I'll add just 2 cans of chopped tomatoes, or I'll just add a bunch of tomato passata. As long as you have some sort of a liquidy tomato base, that will work for you. So there is the tomato base, and just stirring that up. Now once the beans are done cooking, they should look something like this, and it should yield quite a bit, obviously depending on how much you made. And then I'm just going to add however much I want into the chili dish. And then now I'm also adding some of the frozen vegetables that I had that I showed you earlier into the mixture as well, just to kind of add more vegetables and more depth to the chili. Now this is totally optional, but I am going to add some brown lentils into the mixture because every time I just have lentils lying around, I just like to stick them in because it just kind of cooks nicely and it adds, again, more depth and more flavor and more texture into the chili. And once the potatoes and sweet potatoes are done, I'm just taking them out of the oven. And once again, I just kind of check them as I go, poke them with a fork to see if they're cooked. So these are the spices I'm using for the chili. There is paprika, oregano, and ground cumin. Now, the most important thing I think is the cumin, and everything else you can kind of just tailor to your own liking, but the cumin gives it kind of that chili taste. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but yeah, I'm just adding a bit of cumin and a bit of oregano and a bit of paprika. And you can also add salt if you'd like at this stage. I think for this recipe I decided to just kind of not add salt and add salt as I needed it when I was eating it. And honestly, it's quite flavorful on its own, so you don't really need a lot of salt in my opinion. So yeah, just kind of use at your own discretion. Now once all the ingredients are in there and everything has come to a boil, I usually like to kind of let it simmer for however long until the liquid has kind of dissolved a little bit. And honestly, it seems like a lot of steps, but really you're just sticking things into a pot, letting it cook and do its magic. And this is the pearl barley that we cooked up earlier, and I'm just going to put it into a container so I can have it with the chili. So as you can see, it made quite a bit, and I only had a little bit in that bag, but it yielded a lot of pearl barley. And I'm just putting some into a smaller container so I can actually bring it to work and eat it for lunch, which is what I always do. So I'm just putting a little bit in there, filling about half of it with pearl barley, and then I'm gonna also fill the rest of it with the chili that I made so that I can have pearl barley with chili. And one of my favorite things to eat with the chili is actually couscous, but this time I just decided to have pearl barley because that's what I had. And that's what it looks like, as you can see. And I'm just putting the rest of the chili into a bigger container so I can just kind of eat it as I go, or I can also freeze it if I want to, if I don't feel like I can finish it within a week or so. And that is it, my friends. As you can see, I've got 3 lunches here, and I've got still another huge container of chili, as well as some potatoes and sweet potatoes that I can just snack on or eat it with chili as well. So yeah, as you can see, it is quite a bit of food and not that much effort, and as I said earlier, you could always freeze the chili and eat it later for your own little frozen healthy dinner. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think down below, and make sure you give me a thumbs up if you want to see more of these food prep videos in the future, and see you guys in my next video. Bye! So Patty got these free from dairy, and it's strawberry and vanilla scones.